I'm back in the van and I am back in Gran Canaria. The Tenerife event, it just finished, and well, I think I was a month in Tenerife total, and it was not that windy. I think I used 4.0 once, so I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to I just wanted to do a little bit more jumping before going home, in hopefully a bit of a more empty pozo. So that's the thinking there. But yeah, anyway, I was just gonna say a little bit about the Tenerife World Cup that's just happened. I was pretty excited for this event, as I always am. Really like the sailing in Cabeza, because we had slalom and wave, and within wave we had all the youth discipline, the women, the men, and the masters. So it was already going to be really tight to get it all in, and I know there's been a little bit of talk, you guys might have seen, but yeah, they didn't manage to do any of the masters and some of the youth categories. The slalom, they didn't have that many eliminations, so I think there's a few people who are not so happy with that, which it just leads to a few questions on how events like this should be done, how many categories should be in these events and disciplines. Because for me, in my personal opinion, ultimately, if you want to try and do everything, you need more time, because we only had 10 days, and if you got 5 days of no win, then it's already really hard to get it in. So I obviously feel for the guys that didn't get to compete, which is really frustrating, and it's also really hard for the judges to know what to do. But yeah, anyway, a little bit about my event. Had a tough single heat with Moritz, who's kind of up there with one of the favourites, just because of his wave riding. So that was tough. And then I had Henry as well in that one. So I felt like I sailed a good heat. My riding felt good in that heat. I was on my 4.5 and my new 77. I wasn't really patient enough, I feel like, with the wave selection. So I kind of had quite a lot of waves compared to the other guys, but I didn't really pick off the bigger ones that would give me a bit more opportunity. Out in the single, and then in the double, again, first round heat, super hard. Federico and Mike Friedel, so two like super experienced competitors, and I was really nervous for that one. I feel like, I don't know, for me personally anyway, the first heat in the double is always a really scary one, because obviously it's your second chance, and if you mess it up, then you're kind of dead last. So I really didn't want that to happen, and maybe that was a little bit too much in my head, but I felt really kind of stressed on the water, and the conditions were tricky. We had 13 minutes, so less time than I had in a single, which was 16 minutes. 13 minutes, it was one jump and two waves again, and the wind was pretty light. I was on a 5.0 and I was on my 84, so like really big kit for me. But again, still really happy with like the setup from last year. I knew I needed to get a little bit better with the big kit, and even though maybe you lose a little bit in, I guess, your kind of manoeuvrability and what you can do, still felt like I could pretty much do what I wanted and have a lot more freedom in the brake to move around. I think I got a good wave at the start, which kind of put me in a good position to get through, and yeah, managed to get through that one. But yeah, and then I had my second double heat, feeling a little bit more relaxed, and yeah, again, really wanted to make it through that one. I feel like that would have been a good achievement, but yeah, it's hard. Again, I had Jules Donnell, who's always been sailing really good here, always had good results in the past, and just like an experienced sort of competition machine. And then I had Hayata, he's like the young Japanese kid, and I knew, because I see him sail quite a bit, and yeah, how do I explain? I guess sometimes I see him not sailing great, but then he's that type of sailor who he just can click at some point and just produce something like insane. He's got so much raw talent, so again, I knew that was going to be hard, and I was kind of wishing that he wouldn't pull out anything amazing. And then in the end, I think he pulled out a 360, and like I said, again, not much wind, so pretty perfect one. So that was really hard, and Jules was kind of going about his stuff. We had no jumps in that heat, but I really struggled to be on the right waves. The waves were actually like kind of decent in that heat, like size, but yeah, I was really struggling to pick the good ones out. Found myself on a lot of like white water ones. I don't know, competitions are really hard. It's kind of what I've learned, and even if you're a really good guy, you can go out, so it's not, sometimes you do need that bit of luck, and I think when you're competing, you're losing most of the time, and you kind of struggle to think why you're doing it, but the feeling of getting through a heat in a World Cup with such high levels is pretty sick, so happy for that. And yeah, a little bit disappointed I didn't get so much sailing in Tenerife. It's been a pretty bad season there. I think we've had a lot of this Kalima, really hot cloud, so it's not been great for the wind. But yeah, anyway, got a week or got a few days here in Gran Canaria, and then I'll be heading home for another busy autumn with a lot of events and a lot of some really cool things coming up, which I'm excited to share. So but yeah, thanks everyone again for watching my stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a bit of an insight into the things going on. Yeah, and if you want to keep this channel growing and seeing more videos, then I'd really massively appreciate going into my Buy Me a Coffee and yeah, chip in a couple quid.